Welcome to Alderman Farms. I'm Patty. I'm so looking forward to doing another shelf-stable pantry recipe today. Today we're going to be making salmon patties or salmon croquettes, whichever word you prefer. So let's get started. I'm first going to take the bones out of my salmon, and I'm going to try and get about half a can of this salmon because I'm just making this for the two of us and it will make plenty. And I'll save the rest of this can for another recipe. The bones are very small that's in here, and they're very soft. So if you miss a few, it's okay. I also like to remove any of like this dark skin, and I'll leave that out of the recipe too. And that's like on the outside, so you can easily see it. And here's more bones. More of that black skin. It just makes it a little too fishy. Ew! All right, now that I have that deboned, I'm just going to kind of smush it up with a fork. And also want to let you know too that you could use mackerel. I used to use mackerel all the time for this recipe, but now mackerel is about as expensive as salmon, so I went ahead and went with salmon this time. All right, you're going to want to add in 1 egg. And I'm continuing to smush this with the fork to try and blend it in good. I'm going to go ahead and add my dehydrated green onions. They do sell these in the store, but I had a lot of onions growing this year, and so I dehydrated the tops of them. And I'm just going to use a little handful. We'll go ahead and add our seasonings now. I'm going to go ahead and salt it. Some garlic powder. And this is just to taste. If you don't care for garlic powder, don't put it. And I just did a very light sprinkling. And some onion powder. I'm going to go ahead and mix that up really good. If you don't have green onions or regular onion, you could grate a regular onion. I've done that in here. I've grated a little bit of regular onion. You could totally omit the onion or just use a little bit more onion powder. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle in a ½ teaspoon of baking powder. And I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle in a little bit of my flour. This is a ½ cup of flour, so you'll use up to a ½ cup, but you want to take it slow, mixing it in. You don't want to make these too dry, but they don't need to be too moist either for frying. I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit more. Okay, and that's about the right consistency that I want of it. It's not super dry, but it's definitely sticking together. I've put just enough avocado oil to cover the bottom of the pan, plus a little bit. We're not going to be deep frying these, but they are going to be fried. Now that my oil is hot, it's time to make my salmon patties. And I just take some like that on a fork, drop it in, and I will wet my fork in the oil and smush it down. And I'll keep doing that until I get all of them in the pan. Also wanted to let you know that I used about 1/4 cup of flour in here, but you may need a little more or a little less. And I also want to tell you that this recipe is one of the ones that I got from Tommy's mom. It was one of her favorites to make, and it turned into being one of my mama's favorites to eat. After they've cooked a little bit, you'll want to check the bottoms. And as they get brown, you'll want to flip them over. You just want them a nice golden brown. I do want to say a special thanks to Prepper Potpourri for including me in this collaboration. It's really been fun and very interesting to see what all the different people come up with out of their pantry. Don't forget to check out all the videos today. Everybody's posting their video, and I can't wait to see some new ideas of what I can make out of my pantry. I believe they're just about done. They're good and brown on both sides. And don't forget, down in the description below, you'll find the recipe, a list of all the channels participating, and a link to the playlist. Also, if you haven't done it yet, Prepper Potpourri has made a wonderful way for you to make a binder. You can go and print that out for free and you can put all your shelf-stable recipes in the binder. Well, here they are. This recipe made 8 salmon patties, this size. And to me, this is the perfect size. We'll eat 2 or 3, and that'll leave a couple for the next day. I like to pair this with macaroni and cheese and sweet peas. Thank y'all so much for watching, and don't forget to go check out the other channels.
How many is that, Patty?
3.